Charlie Sheen sets the record straight.
I did an experiment with a gentleman who was making very extreme claims. It went bad fast.
He responds to the controversial doctor who told him he was cured.
If I don't know what I'm doing, then we're both in trouble right now, aren't we?
And the new game-changing HIV treatment Charlie's excited about.
I'm not going to be that person that because of one bad experience, I dismiss other opportunities.
Coming up next on Oz.
Charlie Sheen is back. He's made a lot of headlines on this show, and he's not done yet. Today, he's here to set the record straight on whether or not he's taking his HIV meds, the chase for the cure, and the controversial doctor who claims to have cured his HIV.
In November, his admission of HIV rocked the world.
I'm here to admit that I am, in fact, HIV positive.
Charlie vowed to turn a new leaf, and I agreed to support and document his quest for a cure for HIV.
As long as you're willing to continue to be brutally honest, warts and all, about your journey, we will do this together. Deal?
Right now we're heading to see Dr. Robert Huizinga. He's been my doctor for years.
Our cameras captured Charlie chasing the cure, visiting doctors, scientists, and specialists at the forefront of AIDS research. Then, the bombshell.
I've been off my meds for about a week now. Yeah, am I risking my life? Sure. So what? I was born dead. The disease picked the wrong guy if it wanted to stay alive.
Charlie had stopped his antiviral HIV meds in favor of treatment from a mysterious and elusive doctor named Sam Chachoa, who practices in Mexico, and claimed to have cured Charlie Sheen.
This is the first person in history without antiretroviral therapy to go HIV negative and PCR zero. His count went back down to zero just taking my treatment.
But by the time Charlie joined us in studio, a recent blood test told us a very different story. While on Dr. Chachoa's treatment, Charlie's HIV levels actually rose.
I apologize, I'm a little off my game because right before I walked out here, I got some results that I wasn't, I was disappointed about. I'd been on non-detectable and checking the blood every week, and then found out that the numbers were back up.
Charlie agreed to go back on his conventional antiviral meds.
I'm gonna take him on the flight home. What am I, an idiot?
Charlie also agreed to have his numbers tested again to share with our studio audience today.
Please welcome Charlie Sheen. So you were here a few weeks ago. Lots has happened. How you?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. How you feeling?
I feel great. I did, in fact, take them on the flight home.
Good for you.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Are you still taking the medications?
Oh, I am, absolutely, yeah.
So you let us draw your blood.
We did, yeah.
At the end of the last show, you mentioned during the interview, and we just showed a little piece of it, that you're disappointed by a test result you had just gotten before you walked out here.
Yeah.
We didn't want to put you in an awkward spot, didn't share those actual numbers, but you've allowed us, again, you're being very transparent,
Sure.
I appreciate that,
Sure.
to share with America
Of course.
what was going on inside your body. It's okay?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, why not?
So
We're all
just
here.
go back to the beginning, put this all in context. Before this whole saga started, you had been on medications that block HIV for about 4 years.
Yeah.
And your levels had been undetectable for
Zero.
those 4
Yeah.
years. Zero,
Yeah.
basically, right? Which
Yeah.
is an unbelievable advance that science has been able to offer. Then you started getting treated by Dr. Chachoa, who
Right.
we will speak about over the course of the show. And you went off your meds.
I did, yes.
And I'm just going to show what happened when you did that.
Please.
So let's put the curve up there. Within a few weeks, your viral load had gone up to 701. That's the number that you got just before you walked out in the set.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is sort of scary.
It was very scary, yeah, it was alarming because whatever he was doing for a very brief amount of time, he claimed that was working on some level. And clearly it wasn't. Clearly it was not. And then the numbers that showed up from the test that was done here.
Can I share that number?
Please, yeah, why not? Sure.
There's over 12,000.
Yeah, it went exponentially. Like suddenly, Adding zeros, just adding zeros. Yeah, it was very, very frightening.
The virus was unleashed.
It was, yeah, and exactly what the experts told me would happen, happened, you know? So if people are out there and you're contemplating doing the same thing, you don't have to go through that. You can stay on a daily regimen and everything's great, you know?
So what was it about the promise of going off the medications, the Dr. Chacho's offering, that attracted you to take a chance?
He basically described it as a DNA repair kit. And I know that this virus does bond with the DNA, and I just, however he presented the science, it made sense. You know, he sold a very believable package. You know, and I got duped a little bit. You know, and I think we were very kind to him last time we were out here. That might not be the case today based on some of the stuff he's come out and the claims he's made and all that, you know.
Did you feel vulnerable when he approached you?
Extremely, yeah, I did. And he was just offering something that you know, when things sound too good to be true, they usually are.
So when you left the set, obviously a little shell-shocked, the blood titers in your body had gone up so high. Again, just to be clear on this, when the virus starts to grow, this is why it kills people, it just takes off.
Yeah.
And so these wildfires were raging through your body. The titer now was 12,000. You were infectious.
Yeah.
You went back on your medications.
I
You've
did.
been taking them diligently.
Yes.
And I now know, you just got your lab results back, that your lab numbers back down. Just again, this is 4 weeks ago, these bloods were taken. Your blood numbers are back down to 45.
It's close to zero, yeah.
Close to zero, which is basically
Thank you.
getting to the undetectable range.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I look at that curve and I start to wonder, you know, what's going on. And in our prior conversations, you were a little bit ambivalent about your medications. You joke about them sometimes, that, you know, you have to wear black underwear and or dark underwear.
Right.
But this does, I hope, offer a little bit of respect to what's happened.
A lot of respect. Absolutely. Yeah. No, this is this. Again, as I prefaced the whole thing, it was I put myself as part of an experiment, you know, to perhaps save others from going down a similar path, you know.
Let me bring Dr. Hazenga into the conversation. He's your doctor.
Yeah.
Rob, you've been taking care of Charlie. What worries went through your mind when you saw how fast those HIV levels were rising?
I was angry, I think, on one hand, that some doctor had abused his degree to tell Charlie untrue things. And it was scary being in a wildfire, as you describe it, because sometimes that wind shifts and people can die. And HIV is such a bad mother. And it can sometimes change and become resistant. And so the fact that we got out of that wildfire without one of these fatal complications of the virus mutating, I mean, I'm just so thankful.
I've made it very clear from the moment I heard about it that the experimental treatment Charlie underwent and the doctor who performed it are highly questionable. When we come back, Charlie and I debunk the claims Dr. Chacho made on Bill Maher. So, Troy, did you feel blindsided when Dr. Chacho went on Bill Maher and started discussing intimate details?
Yeah,
So just to be clear, Dr. Chacho said you were dying.
Airline secrets exposed. From the safest place to sit to,
How much time do I really have to get this on?
and the germiest part of the plane revealed.
Is it the tray table, the seatbelt, or maybe the headrest? What is the grossest thing you've seen on a plane?
Never, ever reach in there without looking first.
Plus, Jillian Michaels' biggest fan reveals how she pulled off the biggest weight loss transformation ever. You've got to see it to believe it. All new Oz.
That's coming up tomorrow.
I was concerned Charlie was jeopardizing his life. So we invited Dr. Chacho to be here the last time Charlie was on the show, and he turned us down. So you can imagine my surprise when he showed up on a TV show recently and went unchallenged by one of our country's most prominent and well-regarded talk show hosts. Take a look.
My concern that Charlie was seeking an unproven and potentially dangerous treatment from Dr. Chachoa only increased when, after leaving the doctor a series of messages, he finally called me back.
Hi, Dr. Sam. How are you?
After bragging he'd cured Charlie, he then shared startling insight into how he'd gained Charlie's trust.
I drew some blood from him, and I injected myself with it. And I said, Charlie, if I don't know what I'm doing, then we're both in trouble right now, aren't we?
That admission stunned me
It's pretty inappropriate.
and made headlines around the world. Then this.
Chachoa, I said that right? Okay, all right, I'm gonna call you Dr. Sam because it's a tough name.
The elusive doctor who refused to appear on our show popped up on HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher.
You know, I watched that Dr. Oz episode a few times, and they just kind of leave it hanging there.
In the interview that followed, Dr. Chachoa still claimed to have cured Charlie and took credit for results of tests taken years before he'd even met Charlie.
Even the charts they held up on the Oz show, all the great tests they showed, they were during my treatment, not theirs.
He also shared private details about Sheen's health.
What was his condition when you met him?
Quite frankly, he was dying when I met him. Charlie had severe encephalitis. He couldn't stand in the daylight. His house was like the Batcave, all the shades drawn in, dark glasses.
That's because of the hookers.
Unchallenged by the show's host, Chachoa goes on to make his usual unsubstantiated claims for his cure.
Milk from goats which had arthritis. These goats have a virus called CAEV, and this virus destroys HIV and protects people who drink it for life.
The interview sparked outrage among scientists, AIDS activists, and Charlie Sheen himself, who responded on Twitter, declaring definitively that Dr. Chachoa had not cured him of HIV.
So, Troy, did you feel blindsided when Dr. Chachoa went on Bill Maher and started discussing intimate details?
Yeah, I thought that was radically inappropriate. I was blindsided. Yeah. And after I thought we handled it very, 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 very graciously out here the last time. Yeah, I was not in that shape. I was not dying in a dark house. It was like, have you been to my house? It's not a weird cave. No, he said I had the gait of an old man, and you know, it was, I don't know what he created a whole memory of that meeting that I don't think really existed. You know, the other thing that I was really bothered by was that he said that he treated me in Mexico for 2 months, which is complete rubbish. That's an absolute bald-faced lie. And he was treating me at my house. And then when he was in Mexico, he would have stuff delivered at all hours of the night, and I was an idiot to keep taking it, but it was, again, you know, there was the promise of this treatment leading to this cure. And then I guess he has me on camera saying that I went negative, and he promised he was just going to show that to some investor for his next phase. I mean, it was just the BS started to really pile up with this guy. I was in Mexico probably for 32 hours, just barely over 1 day. And he says I was there for 2 months. So his math skills are equally as challenging as his science, you know.
Just to be clear, Dr. Chachoa said you were dying. Were you?
I was not dying, no. No, I don't think I was dying. It's very bizarre that his memory of our initial time together.
Did it strike you as awkward that he would come at such odd hours? I remember very early in your chase for the cure, I asked to meet with him.
Right.
And you said something that sort of caught me off guard. You said, I'll arrange it if I can. And I said, well, why don't you just have me come the next time he comes to visit you? And you said?
I said, well, I'm not sure we'll be able to find him. Yeah, he was, I guess, in all parts of the city treating different people at all hours of the night. I don't know. I couldn't keep track of this guy.
Do you think Dr.
He didn't really have an office I could go to, you know?
No.
Might have been his car, who knows?
Do you feel Dr. Chachoa was misleading people by what he said on Bill Maher?
I would support that, absolutely, yeah. I think it's very misleading. And it's not fair because even if, that I was going just on pure excitement and faith and hope, even if that might have, slowed something down or created some murmur in the process to my benefit, even if that was the case, you shouldn't do that to good and decent, hardworking people, especially people that are, battling HIV. I mean, it's. Thank you.
Coming up, did Dr. Techow really inject Charlie's blood into himself as he claims? I know, Charlie, you have a take on it. You'll share that when we come back. And I've got the shocking tape. It really is shocking that Dr. Techow does not want you to see. That's next. Did he really inject his blood, your blood rather, into his body?
Thinking back on it, his back was to me.
Was anyone else there that witnessed this? We're back with Charlie Sheen. Very little is known about Dr. Sam Techow, who claims to have cured Charlie of HIV. Now, we know from several recent tests that, Charlie, that you're not cured.
I'm not cured, no.
Not the case.
It's not the case, no.
Right.
That did not happen.
Did not happen.
That did not happen.
In fact, while undergoing Dr. Techow's treatment, Charlie's HIV numbers rose from undetectable, which is a very safe place to live, to over 12,000. And it happened in a very short period, showing how dangerous this virus can be when it's not treated. Nonetheless, talk show host Bill Maher gave Dr. Techow a platform. So, because he had that platform, he said lots of things. And Charlie and I want to take this opportunity to debunk some of the most outrageous claims he was making, beginning with perhaps the most inappropriate, the most shocking claim of all.
I saw some of the footage of you and Charlie in Mexico, and he talked about this on Dr. Oz. You took Charlie's blood when he was HIV positive and injected it into yourself. And Dr. Oz says that is very inappropriate. What I thought was that's confident.
I saw a very sad person in a very sad place, and I really wanted to give him a boost that there was real hope out there. There was a way of curing him. And I did that. It was spontaneous. But, Oz is right. It would be crazy for him to do that because Oz doesn't have a real AIDS treatment. I do.
So what's your reaction to that, Charlie? Does Dr. Techow have an AIDS treatment? Did he really inject his blood, your blood rather, into his body?
Thinking back on it, his back was to me, and he was doing. He might have switched the needle. He might have, but it wasn't like, here, look, bang, and then presented right in front of me.
Walk me through exactly what happened. I know that there's,
I
lots of
had an
rumors
injury.
around.
I had some swelling in my elbow, so he removed some of the fluid, and there was some blood with the fluid, obviously, and he said, I'm going to show you how confident I am about the first treatment I gave you. I'm going to inject your blood into me. And I was like, don't do that. That is a bad plan. I'm no doctor, but I just know, don't do that. And his back was to me.
So he took the syringe, turned around.
Yeah.
You think he may have switched syringes?
Or just, yeah, perhaps. I mean, it wasn't.
And then where did he inject it into himself?
It was right on the top of his arm, right above his wrist.
Was anyone else there that witnessed this?
Denise was there.
She was.
She didn't see it either, though. Yeah. That's how I met this guy. Man, just the gift that keeps on giving.
So, Dr. Zanga, you worked tirelessly to take care of Charlie. You worked to keep these numbers of HIV virus particles down. What's your reaction to what you just saw?
Well, I mean, I think it's preposterous. I'm sure that he did a sleight of hand, but even if he did a sleight of hand, just to show that to a patient, to show that to other people in the country, we know transfusions have an incredibly high transference rate from an infected HIV blood to the receiving individual. And to do that is so undoctorly and so unethical and so misleading that, definitely, if he had a license, it should be taken away.
Let's take another look at a claim. This is one from Dr. Techow's appearance on Bill Maher.
All these side effects disappeared the minute he started my therapy. And the minute he started my therapy, his liver went to normal levels. Even the charts they held up on the Oz show, all the great tests they showed, they were during my treatment, not theirs.
Dr. Zenga, he's saying that the positive changes were because of him, not you.
My blood pressure is rising every second here. This is just so preposterous. His liver test basically came down when Charlie went sober. Clearly 1 for 1. There were no problems when he started his treatment. The problems went up. When Charlie went off his HIV medicines and the HIV started to rise dramatically, his white count went up, all his inflammatory markers went up, his liver tests went up a little bit, things deteriorated in addition to the viral load going up. So it was the exact opposite of what this doctor claimed.
Right. One last claim, again, made on Bill Maher by Dr. Chichawa. He claims that his treatment helped cure HIV. It's a big deal. Cure HIV on the small island country of Comoros. Take a look.
I had my vaccines registered in other countries, and these countries have experienced amazing results. In Comoros, for example,
Where?
Comoros, small island nation, 750,000 people, great beaches. You go there and you'll find that as of 2006, they sent me a letter because they used my vaccines, eradicated a disease called chikungunya, which is kind of like the Zika.
Oh, yeah.
And what they also eradicated HIV. As of 2006, they sent me a letter thanking them for getting rid of HIV.
Pretty big statements.
Very big statements, yes. Yeah.
So we did our homework. I had my medical unit reach out. We contacted the United Nations AIDS country director. That's who is in charge of these kinds of things for Comoros. And he said, this is a statement, I'm going to quote him. He said, I asked my country counterparts, and they replied that they had never heard about Dr. Samir Chichawa. Neither have I. And he also went on to say that there is still HIV/AIDS in his country, which is unfortunate, but what you would expect, because it's hard to get rid of a virus you don't have a cure for. Now, Dr. Chichawa announced on his website that the reason he went on Bill Maher was to confront the lies that he said we have been spreading on this show with you. He's calling you a liar. Are you a liar?
I am not a liar, no. I think what we're observing from him is an absolute grand work of fiction. You know, I think guys like this are dangerous. They're dangerous. Yeah, I'm not going to be trading my meds for arthritic goat milk. I'm just saying.
So after the original show aired, Charlie and I got a lot of criticism, especially from AIDS activists, that by showcasing Dr. Chichawa, even though it was in a negative light, we were potentially giving false hope and encouraging others to go off their meds. And I think our first show, and I hope this one as well, solidifies our feeling on this. Dr. Chichawa's treatments are not a cure, and I do not believe they offer us hope. So I don't people, running out there trying to try this stuff out. I reached out to Bill Maher for a statement, but he has not responded. So coming up, Charlie's controversial trip to see Dr. Chichawa in Mexico. This is some of the most compelling footage I've ever seen in my life. It's the footage that he does not, Dr. Chichawa, wants you to see, but you have to. That's next.
We're here to show the world exactly what he's doing.
I'm telling you how to cure cancer and AIDS. Charlie is the only person ever to go HIV negative. You're the safest in town right now.
Airline secrets exposed. From the safest place to sit to...
How much time do I really have to get this on?
And the germiest part of the plane revealed.
What is the grossest thing you've seen on a plane?
All new Oz.
That's coming up tomorrow.
We are back with Charlie Sheen talking about the controversial doctor who claims he cured Charlie of HIV. So I'm going to show some footage to everybody right now about your trip to Mexico to actually see him and meet people he's taken care of and hear his story. What were you expecting when you hopped on that plane to fly down to Mexico?
I thought I would visit a lab of some type. I thought I would hang out at a clinic. I thought I would interact with some people in similar boats. I thought I didn't expect just to, be in a hotel room.
Did he have a lab?
Odd. He claimed it was a couple hours away.
So we asked Charlie to take a camera with him on this trip to document this meeting and the treatment he would be receiving. He told me when you were going down there that that meeting had to happen right then because he was dying.
Right.
He had a piece of shrapnel.
In his heart.
In his heart.
Yeah.
And he was bleeding out.
Right.
And I actually told him at the time, only half joking, that he should go see a doctor.
Right.
To take care of the bleeding. But he was very firm in his belief that he would be dead by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
So you went down there, and when Charlie came back from Mexico, you told us Dr. T'Challa did not want us to use this footage. Did not want us to air any of it.
None of it, no.
And I'm going to say this real quickly, and make it very clear. I respected his request, and we did not air that footage the last time you were on this show, even though we had it.
Sure.
But he used some of that footage when he was on the Bill Maher show. He also has made statements on his website showing you in Mexico. So he has violated what I believe is a politeness that we were showing to each other.
Yeah.
So we decided to reveal what Dr. T'Challa did not want you to see when Charlie went to visit Dr. T'Challa in Mexico.
We're going to spend a little time with Dr. S. When I viewed the footage of Charlie's visit to Dr. T'Challa in Mexico, I found it both irresponsible and disturbing.
We're here to show the world exactly what he's doing.
I'm telling you how to cure cancer and AIDS. Number one, you find a guy with the balls to come and back you and the star power to let you know that it's out there.
It showcased Dr. T'Challa exhibiting a profound lack of professional boundaries.
Charlie is the only person ever to go virus not detectable, HIV negative. You're the safest in town right now. Right now, you're not infectious. Right now, we could have sex. I don't want to, but we could.
Makes two of us, yeah.
Damn it, Charlie. Charlie, I'm gonna ask you for a huge favor.
He then staged a highly unorthodox breast cancer examination and treatment.
Can you pop your hand here for me? Sure. You can actually feel a very hard lump right there.
What?
I just got hurt by Charlie Sheen.
Oh.
I got hurt by Charlie
Just
Sheen.
keep going, just keep going. It's not normal.
Okay, good. So just lean back and see. He's not a doctor, but he is an expert on breasts.
T'Challa then injected the woman's breast. Notice, no exam table, no gloves, no apparent sterilization. But most telling of all, after giving runaround answers to most of the questions I'd sent with Charlie, came this response to the most important question of all.
Now, I've met some researchers who would love to understand how your vaccine works so they can study it. Could I bring them some samples?
I could give it to you, and then if you would stand there while they tested it, if you would stand there while they dropped it on cancer and watched it die, if you would stand there while they dropped it on the HIV and watched it die.
If you gave it to me, I would give it to Dr. Oz, and he would do those exact tests and demonstrations on his show.
I'd be happy.
I guarantee it.
I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with the camera being all over it.
So did you all hear what I heard? He offered to send the specimen back as long as we never let it out of our sight.
Sure.
So that there was no adulterating going on. The first red flag for me is that after he said he would give us that sample, Dr. T'Challa would not give Charlie samples of the vaccine so we could test them. You visited some of the top researchers in the country on your quest, on your chase for the cure.
I have.
You would have taken it to the Scripps Center or some other reputable
Of course I
place.
would. Absolutely. This is just beyond unacceptable. This man is a liar. Also, that sitting there was so uncomfortable. It was so unnerving. I just wanted to crawl out of my skin. I felt so bad for that young lady, and it was just it was like that whole day. There was inappropriate behavior, and it was just creep city. And you could tell I wasn't comfortable doing any of that. I mean, I was getting uncomfortable watching it again.
But Charlie, I don't think you're the only one to have fallen under his spell. But I also, just in doing our homework, I found this. This is a lawsuit. Here it is. Those are the actual documents against Dr. T'Challa and his cohorts for fraud, malpractice, and wrongful death on behalf of a man who gave them more than $6 million and then died within days of receiving treatment. Are you surprised by this?
I mean, this is shocking. This is shocking. Well, that's just terrible. That's really sad. Yeah, this can never happen again.
Do you think he preys on the rich and famous?
I would support that, absolutely. Wow.
Did he ask you for money?
He didn't ask for money, but he always talked about how expensive all of his potions were to create. But he did ask for a lot of promotional stuff. He wanted to open clinics all over LA. He wanted to, oddly, help me start his children in the music business. And I said, I'm not in the music business, you know?
The third red flag actually has to do with how we credential doctors here. We hired a private investigator, and along with my medical unit, we found that Dr. Techoa is not a registered doctor here in America.
Period, the end.
Period, the end.
Wow.
Not allowed to practice medicine here.
Which is why he said on Bill Maher that he treated me in Mexico for 2 months.
I believe that. I don't know that. But I know that when he treated you in Los Angeles, he was treating you illegally.
Wow. Well, shame on him, you know? I think whatever happens is what he deserves, you know?
Do you think Dr. Techoa is a fraud?
100%. I think if he comes back here to practice medicine, he should be arrested.
Coming up today, new and this time I think really exciting HIV treatment beyond the horizon. Charlie's chase for the cure continues. We'll be right back. Charlie, since day one on this show, has been desirous of getting off his pills. Charlie will actually be able to go off those pills that he dreads.
This feels like the next wave of the future for treatment.
We're back with Charlie Sheen, who has made it his mission to chase the cure for HIV. And we're joining him on his journey. Charlie owes his life to the extraordinary antiviral medications that researchers have spent years developing. But those medications still aren't perfect, at least according to Charlie, and I have to respect him, he's the patient. So today, Charlie looks to the next frontiers in HIV treatments.
The longer I'm on this journey, it feels like the cure is chasing me. There's been a lot of people coming forward. There's been a lot of, I'll get a random letter once a week talking about some technology or science.
Today, Charlie's going to investigate two very different approaches to fighting HIV.
We have a meeting with a gentleman named Ben Daka. He's a filmmaker who's doing a documentary about two healers in Africa. How are you? Good?
Initially, I was born in Zambia.
Oh, wow.
That's the Africa, southern part of Africa.
Sure.
And I mean, I've seen it all. I grew up back in the 90s. At one point, the country, 22% were HIV positive.
Wow.
22%.
22%, wow.
So this is what I put together,
Okay.
pretty much just to show what the documentary is going to be about.
Did something, you know, similar down in Mexico with a certain doctor, and it was not what I was promised or the results I was looking for. I'm not going to be that person that, because of one bad experience, I dismiss other opportunities that come my way. You've given me a lot to think about here.
Next, a highly scientific approach with cutting-edge therapeutics.
We have a meeting with Cytodine. They're involved in some technology and some science that could revolutionize treatment as we know it.
I'm the president and CEO of Cytodine, a public company who's developing Pro 140 for HIV. And our product, Pro 140, is different than any approved drug out there. We are in phase 3. We are not approved yet.
Okay.
We are hoping to be able to be commercial in 2017.
The stuff I take, it's proven that it works for me. Where does yours differ? How is yours better?
Hardly any toxicity, hardly any side effect. And we have done over 200 patient studies. No serious adverse event was ever reported.
Would that make a difference to you?
Make a big difference.
We've asked Dr. Nader Pourhassan, he's the CEO and president of Cytodine, to join us. Kudos to the high-tech work you're doing. So Charlie, what was it about what Cytodine was offering that appeal to you?
The zero toxicity, the infrequency of how often to do it would be. Is it 2 shots?
That's correct.
Potentially 1 a month. It's sub-Q.
1 shot a month.
Yeah,
instead of the pills every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and no toxicity. And so there is that stigma sometimes of taking the pills, reminding yourself that you have this every day, and not that anybody that has it should forget, because it's impossible to, but perhaps with this treatment, bi-monthly or monthly, it could, eliminate some of that.
So I understand you have a big announcement. Take it away.
So Charlie has shown interest on participating in a trial that we have, and that's monotherapy. He will be taking, if he's screened and accepted to be participant on the trial, he will be putting away all of his pills. He will not be taking no more pills, and he will take 2 sub-Q injection every week. And it will be on a trial, so it will be monitored by a doctor that will sign in to Charlie.
Just to be clear, so Charlie, since day 1 on this show, has been desirous of getting off his pills. If he enters this trial with you, Charlie will actually be able to go off those pills that he dreads.
Exactly. We have patients who have gone 18 months without any pills. Some patients 7 pills a day. They put all of it away, and we're very proud of those results.
You excited by that?
I'm very excited by this. Yeah, I'm very excited. And this is not. I know we're coming off all these other segments and talking about all the crap I went through. No, these are scientists and brilliant doctors and researchers, and this gentleman, and it's a public company. There's absolute transparency. There's no back rooms or hidden agendas. This feels like the next wave of the future for treatment.
So Dr. Zenga, what do you think about this experiment?
Well, obviously, I'm very excited, but I get paid to be pessimistic and cautious, and this is an experimental agent. It's an experimental treatment. It's only been tested on a small number of people for a year and a half, but it looks incredibly promising, and it's legitimate, thank God.
Kudos to you. And you'll keep telling us how you're doing on it.
Absolutely.
As honest as you always are.
Yes, of course I will be, yes. I'm gonna hang with this guy instead,
When we come back, Charlie Sheen's gonna answer your questions about HIV and his chase for the cure. Stick around.
I was just wondering if you had any regrets in light of your diagnosis about your previous lifestyle.
You can't live in regret. You gotta live. For today's realities.
Airline secrets exposed. From the safest place to sit to
how much time do I really have to get this on?
And the germiest part of the plane revealed.
What is the grossest thing you've seen on a plane?
All new laws.
That's coming up tomorrow.
We're back with Charlie Sheen, and he's agreed to take some questions from the audience. So start us off.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Not bad, thank you.
You look great, by the way.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you.
So, when you first met Dr. Sam, your first reaction to him, did you Google him, research him, think that he was a good fit for you?
Stupidly, I did not. I should have Google Chromed him. And no, but I trusted the research done by the people that delivered him to me, and that's on me. That's on me.
Hi, I'm Victoria.
Hi, how are you?
I'm a mom. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just wondering if you've talked to your younger kids about your HIV.
I know. I talked to my oldest daughter, Cassandra, before I announced it with Matt Lauer. It's a conversation that I'm looking forward to having. The one I know I have to have. They're still very young. Go ahead.
Hi, Charlie. I'm
Hi.
Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
I was just wondering if you had any regrets in light of your diagnosis about your previous lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, of course I do. Yeah. But you can't live in regret. You got to live. you know, live for today's realities and challenges, and yeah, but it'd be impossible. I'd be sitting here lying if I said that I didn't have any. Seriously, that's a really good question. Thank you.
And one more. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, how are you? I'm Charlie, and I have a question for you.
Okay.
I noticed that as of growing up, watching you on TV and stuff like that, I noticed you bulldozed through a lot of stuff in the media. So my question is, as your life starts to cyclone, where do you find your quiet and your peace? And how do you feel about the media, you know, like this happening to you and coming out in the media, being HIV and being exposed in the media?
I'm grateful to the media at this point that I was able to be free, to use the media as to have a voice when all I had was echoes, you know, and it is. You know, it's kind of a full-time job sometimes being me. You know what I mean? As it can be for you, correct? Exactly. For all of us. But I think if I just don't get overwhelmed, and again, I don't read so much stuff about me because it's usually just it's either not true or like really embarrassing. You know. I hope I answered your question.
Charlie, thank you very much. We'll be right back.
Right on.
We're running out of chocolate.
We explain why in our Food Truth series. Plus, a girl with a lot of heart.
I'm 6 years old and I have a heart outside my chest.
All new Oz.
That's coming up on Friday.
In just 4 weeks, it's evident Charlie Sheen has turned over a new leaf. He is clean, he is sober, and he's taking his HIV medications, thankfully, to keep his levels undetectable. He's skeptical about some of these too good to be true schemes out there. That's changed. You know, these schemes are flooding in his inbox, and he's learned to begin to research them a little more effectively. Like a lot of people with chronic illnesses, he's understanding that he's got to be the world expert in his body, and he's got to be the detective that's inside all of us. But I respect the fact that he's still curious about HIV treatments in particular that you may not know about. And as long as he's chasing the cure for HIV, I will join him on that journey, warts and all. Thanks for joining us. Remember, health and happiness starts at home.